An important part of email marketing is to send the right message to the right person. One of the ways you can do that is through segmentation. This is where email marketing automation comes into play. Inside of Fluent CRM and Fluent Forms, I'm going to show you a way that's very simple to allow your subscribers to tell you and automatically segment what email lists or messages they want to hear about. Hi, my name is William Bean with Suburbia Press. We like to help you understand the technology that automates and powers your business. And this is one of those examples. So I'm using Fluent CRM, and it comes with a light version of Fluent Forms. You can also get the professional version because it can do a lot more things. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm on my demo site. We're looking at the dashboard. And what we want to do is decide what kind of topics are we going to let people suggest or select for themselves. So let me come over here to contacts. I'm going to go into tags. And tags are going to be important for this particular method. I like using lists. I like using dynamic segments, but tags I use for historical and profile information about a contact. So let's go ahead and add some things in here. Let's say that we want to have a weekly digest. And I'm going to add one more tag, and we'll just call this one monthly digest. And it doesn't have to be about a digest. It could be about any particular topic. If you're into photography, maybe it's into how to use Lightroom, how to use Photoshop, how to use off-camera flash, travel photography, portrait photography, whatever the topic of interest is. Your genre or niche that you're working on, you can segment things this way, and you can allow your users, when they opt in, to tell you what they'd like to hear more about. So now that we've done that, we need to build an opt-in form. So we're going to come and create a form. So I'm going to come over here to Forms, and I'm going to click Create a New Form. And whichever template works for you, I'm just going to go ahead and do this subscription form. So I'm going to call it Topic Interest for lack of anything better. And you can go ahead and automatically, send them to a specific list. You can add tags in here, and you can see where we just added our weekly and monthly digest. I'm not going to do that yet. I do also like to encourage people to use to enable double opt-in confirmation. That just makes sure the person gets an email. They have to click to confirm, and you know that you're actually getting confirmation from the person whose email address gets entered. All right, so now that we've got this, let's go ahead and edit the form. So we've got a first name, last name. Typically, I just go ahead with first name, but you can click on this option over here. And if you don't want the last name, or if you want to add the middle name, you can just uncheck that, and it just gives you what you want there. But that's not what we want to do. What we want to do is give them additional options to say what they're interested in. So we want our first name, and of course, I want that to be required. So in order to require it, let's click this little option over here. So first name, if you want this to be required, it's field by field. So first name is required. I want to say yes. And then there's a default text here. This field is required. Change that to whatever you want to. And you can close this up, and I'm going to save the form before we move on to our next step. Now, we want people to choose what they're interested in receiving. You could use a checkbox or anything else. I think a checkbox, if you're going to have multiple selections, a checkbox is great. If you want them to choose between, let's say, weekly or monthly, like I put in, they can only have one or the other, I would use a radio field. That way they can only select one. But let's go ahead and edit our options over here. And I'm going to say weekly, monthly, and I'm going to do another one over here for discounts. You can have a number of checkboxes if you want to. You can see if there's plus or minus. You can delete them with a negative, or you can just click the plus button to add more. And do you want to shuffle them? Do you want them to be required? In this case, I'm not going to have them required because they can check them or not. And if they don't check anything, you still got them on your introductory list and the tag that you've set up on the form. So let's go ahead and click on Save This Form. Now, here's where the fun part begins. We go over to Settings and Integrations. And you've got all this information over here. What I'm going to do is jump down to Marketing and CRM. So we've got it integrated with Fluent CRM, and that's by default. Obviously, the products come from the same vendor, and that's going to be there. So I'm going to click on this button over here for our settings. And we're going to scroll down to contact tags. And there's this little thing here that maybe you've seen and you just didn't pay attention to. Click this, enable dynamic tag selection. So you can set a tag. Let's say that for our weekly digest, we can say if checkbox field equals weekly, then that way, if they check that box, it's going to come back to FluentCRM and it's going to update a tag for that weekly digest. And then you can add another one. And we'll say monthly digest. And again, checkbox field equals monthly. Now you can change this up if you want to, equal or not equal. And I've got the option over here for discounts that I put in for tags, but I didn't put that in my checkbox. Or excuse me, I didn't put that. I've got it on my checkbox, but I didn't put it in my tag. So I don't have an option down here for, discounts, but that's just something you need to prepare in advance. Think about what checkboxes you want to have. Make sure there is a tag for each one, and then you can assign them this way. And of course, you can always skip if their contact already exists, but I would say leave that unchecked because maybe somebody will sign up again and you'll get some self-segmentation by using this method. And we're just going to update the FluentCRM feed. So let's go back to our forms. And we're going to have a short code over here. So I'm going to click to copy that. And now I'm going to create a page. So pages, add new. And over here inside of the Gutenberg editor, I'm just going to put in a short code. And I'm going to paste in that short code that we've got. So let me save that. So there we go. So I can put in my name. So I've got my first name here, my email address. Let's see, what do I have that I want to use? Let's see, William. And I'm going to check weekly. We'll click subscribe. And it's going to ask me to check my inbox to confirm. Okay, we submitted our form. So again, if we have entries inside of here, we should be able to see where they go to the tags. Let's go over, take a look at our entries. And you can see that this is the entry that I just made. You can see the checkbox field for weekly was set, and then that will go over to your email that you get sent off. And when the user gets added to your contacts list, they'll also have a tag for the checkbox field that you entered. So remember, you can do this with checkbox fields. You can do it with radio fields. You can probably do it with some other types of fields, but you've got to make sure that you have a way to narrow down what they're going to input. And that's why I like checkboxes or radio fields, so that you can say it's equal or not equal. If you put in an open text field and you don't know what they're going to type, it may or may not equal or not equal something that you're going to put in here. But that's a way that you can get users to self-segment. It shows you what their interests are. You can update their profile with these tags, and then you can use those tags to create dynamic segments or some other types of campaigns, maybe through an automation. You can use campaigns or you can use sequences. Give them the information that they want to have. So just wanted to give you a quick little tutorial on that, and I hope this helps. If you like this video, please go ahead, click the like button. That tells YouTube we did something right. They'll share it with more people. Please subscribe. We'll have more content on FluentCRM, Fluent Forms, and other things that help entrepreneurs. And click the little bell notification icon in case you want to see some more content like this. Thanks so much. I'll see you again in the next video.